Hey guys, Caleb's Cards here, coming at you with another TTM Mail Week recap episode for you. I have actually quite a few TTMs that came in over the week. And in case you're not familiar with what TTM is, TTM stands for Through the Mail. And what I did was I wrote to all these people a letter with some cards or some photos and asked if they would sign them. And they all returned them signed. So it's a lot of fun to do. It's my personal hobby. I've been doing it since quite regularly since 2014, but technically I dabbled a little bit in 2008 and 2012, but I usually count as 2014. So I've been doing it for about 8 years now. As of March of 2022 was 8 years. So it's definitely a lot of fun. There are some links down below if you guys need some help finding some addresses, as well as some of my social media links that I share some successes that maybe you hadn't seen yet, or maybe some other tips and tricks as well in there. So you can definitely go give a follow to me on those sites or check out the links down below. So we will go ahead and start today, I guess, with some baseball. I had one return on two 4x6 photos signed by Mr. Jim Barbary, who was a outfielder, a little bit of a utility man during the 60s. So very cool. I wrote him a long time ago and just thought it'd be kind of cool to send him again, see how he was doing. I think it's been probably about 5 years or so since I last wrote. I think I got him on a signature card or maybe one of the Sean Hewitt's customs. So it's kind of cool to get on a different kind of photo this time. We'll go and move on to some football. So I've been, as you can see in the table behind there, I've been sorting cards, and I came across a couple Rick Meyer football cards. I guess what intrigued me was I didn't realize he played for the Jets, so I found a Jets card of him, so I decided to send that, and then I found that cool Seattle Seahawks card, which I believe came from one of the dollar packs in the antique mall. So I've written him, multiple times over the years, but he's always a gracious signer and usually signs pretty quickly. That one came, I think I just sent that out last week, so that came pretty quick. Maybe even I think it was probably Saturday that I sent those out. Saturday or Sunday. So that's pretty fast. Probably definitely, I usually, I try not to send to somebody too much. Maybe 3 times the max. Somebody like Rick Meyer, since he's a great signer, maybe I can stretch it to 4 or 5 if it's for somebody else, I guess. Probably next time I fire this in, I probably at least include some cash. Buy him some coffee or something this first time, since I've written them so many times, and there's other people out there that haven't got them yet. So I don't want to be the guy that causes somebody to stop signing. But I guess it depends. It's kind of my own personal rule. We got former tight end. He was the Rob Gronkowski of the 90s. I don't know, but he played for the New England Patriots. This is Mr. Marv Cook, who signed three cards. Got the 92 score, which is kind of a cool looking set. You don't really actually see those as much as you do the other years. I guess this one got a smudge in the back or whatever. 92 Pro set. He made the Pro Bowl, and then the regular issue 92 Pro set. So very cool. So Mr. Marv Cook. We got some photos. Another tight end for the New York Giants, Zeke Mowat. And then also we got him with Florida State University. And I had a third photo that I wanted to send to him. It was pretty cool, but it didn't. It wasn't a JPEG file, so I couldn't upload it and print it. So we weren't able to send that. Then this one, I couldn't decide between them, so I just sent 4. So he signed 2 for me and 2 for Bruce. Let's start in order here. We got Bruce Taylor, who was a pretty solid defensive back for the 49ers. This one's from of his 75 card. This one's of his 77. So he played a number of seasons for them. It's pretty good. It's very cool. Mr. Bruce Taylor. So he signs pretty well. I saw the last person that got him sent 4, so I was like, If he decides to sign them, great. If he wants to keep some, also great. So I always make sure, I put in my letter, say, if you want to keep these or something, then go for it. I'm not going to be greedy or anything like that. I got some hockey here. We got Mr. Jim Schoenfield. Signed a picture of one of his old 70s hockey cards. This one I'll have to see if I can fix and get some of that smudge off. It came from this pen I've been using. It's rubbing off on the back, so I'm going to have to either use pencil for returns that I send out normally, or find a different pen. This photo paper that these photos came on has been different, so it kind of bleeds. It's kind of weird. So yeah, I'll have to look into that. We got another hockey player here. He's pretty good. Played for the Philadelphia Flyers and Tampa Bay Lightning. I think maybe a couple other teams in between. I think he's recently retired. Mr. Adam Hall. Signed 3 photos. So a couple for myself that he described to me. And then he signed this one for Bruce. So Bruce has been sending some hockey TTMs out for me, and Bruce is a friend. We do package swaps throughout the year, or once a year, or whenever we can. So that'll be a fun one to give to him, and excited to see what he's able to find as well. We got some soccer here. I've been sending out some soccer. I don't know if some of you, if you've been following my channel off, maybe you remember in one of the antique mall purchases, I found a little stack of female soccer player cards from 2021 Parkside. So I sent a bunch of them out, and we've gotten a couple back so far. So we have Miss Rachel Hill, who plays for the Red Stars, I think, still. And then she included just a nice little note there. It's very cool. And then this was a gal that I had gotten her actually quite recently, but I found her card after I sent her. So I waited a little bit, so I hope she was cool with getting another request from me, but Mrs. O. Morse. So I found one of those cards. I think I mentioned in the letter that I found these cards in the antique mall. I thought it'd be kind of cool to send them out. And I didn't have cards for this young lady, but got Amina Ekic. I got her on a couple photos. So when she was playing for Louisville. And I don't remember who she's playing with, but she is playing in that league where those cards are from. I got a MMA return from Catlin Chukagian. Here, see if you can pronounce that one. But this is her. So she signed. One of these is going to be going to Autographs for a Cure. So which one do you guys think should go? So I'm cool with either one. The signatures came out great. Photos came out great. So whichever one. We got some celebrity returns. I think all of these are for Autographs for Cure, except for the very last one, because this one's a PC one. Sent to actor and comedian, Mr. Paul Elding, who signed this one. We got this. He's doing some, I don't know if it's Broadway or off-Broadway shows as well recently. So I got a couple shots from that. And he was kind enough to include a note with a couple extra signed photos for Autographs for a Cure, which is very nice of him. He did some voice work for Ben 10. I think that was the grandfather. And he did Perceptor from the Transformers cartoons. So very cool. So we can donate those to Autographs for a Cure. So he said, in case there's some Transformers or Ben 10 fans. So thank you so much, Mr. Elding. I'll definitely need to make sure I send a thank you note to him, which will go ahead and write his name down so I don't forget. And that's something I usually try to do is, when somebody goes above and beyond, what I expected, send them a little thank you note, that I appreciate it, and I think, if you do that, and I don't sell or anything like that, I think that just kind of confirms, that what I'm doing is legitimate. And, I mean, why else would I take time to write a thank you note for an autograph if I'm selling or something, trying to make a buck off them? So I thought that was cool. Next up, we got Mr. Tom Drysdale, who's he's an actor, a singer. He might do comedy work. I don't think so. I think it's just acting and singing. But he actually, so check this out. So he put spacers in between each photo so that they wouldn't smear. So that was really cool of him to do. So we got this one. Of course, I already showed you that one. And we got this one with Frank Sinatra. This was what I was thinking of getting autographs for a cure. Thought that'd be kind of a neat one for Frank Sinatra collectors and people who would want Mr. Drysdale's autograph. And then I got one I figured it'd be kind of cool for me. He's throwing out the first pitch at a Cubs game, so I thought that kind of makes sense. Go with my love for baseball. Then I sent to Bobby Breezy or Bressy. I messed up and sent her the wrong photo, I guess. I thought it was her, but it was not. She did send me another replacement photo, which was nice of her. So she did send that, but I don't think I can show it on here because it's a little too risque for my channel. But I do appreciate her doing that, so that'll probably, I guess, go to Autographs for a Cure. But there she is. That's from, I think, Ghouls or something like that she was in. But yeah, she sent a 5x7 photo. I'll go ahead and keep that private off camera, but I appreciate her still signing for Autographs for a Cure. I just, that's just not my kind of stuff that I collect, and something I hope to pass down someday. So I guess, kind of be awkward to explain that one to your wife and kids someday. So, but then again, that's just me. So you might have a completely different opinion. But yeah, they'll be donated since I goofed up and sent the wrong photo. This one's pretty cool. I was really excited to get this one. I was trying to get it out as quick as I can as soon as I saw he was signing, and I'm glad he still is. I think he's pretty popular, known for having been in National Lampoon's Vacation or whatever movies those were. I've never seen them. I know of them, but I've never watched them. We got Anthony Michael Hall for why are we getting so much glare? For the Psyched PC, he played Chief Trout. He came in at the last season of Psych, kind of replaced Chief Vic for a little bit until she came back. And, because she was on suspension, and then became the San Francisco police chief in that TV show. I was just watching the whole series through about a month ago or so. Now I'm rewatching Monk. Those are a couple of my favorite shows. So every year or two or whatever, when I'm bored, I usually go and turn those on. So that was really cool to get him back. He wrote me a personal note as well. And I did tell him in my letter, how much I like Psych, and then he also put that down there and put God bless on all of the inscriptions. So it's kind of always cool to, write a celebrity and find out, most likely that they're a Christian, I guess, if they're putting that down. So that's kind of cool to learn about them. And finally, we have one more TTM, my bad. It's coming from Scott Masters, who is a teacher at Crestwood Preparatory College in Toronto, Canada. And what he does is he interviews World War II veterans from the U.S. or Canada, and also some other military veterans from other countries or other wars or times. And he asked me, whenever I can, maybe help him out with finding some addresses or ways to contact some of these people, or when I write them, if I could shout out him or the Veterans Breakfast Club. And we've been able to get a few of them to interview with him, and also get a Veterans Breakfast Club. So again, those links will be down below to Scott's website as well as the Veterans Breakfast Club. if you guys are interested in checking that out and seeing more about it. But a while back, I wrote Mr. Leland Chandler. He is almost 100 years old, and if this is his writing, that is... Whoa. Here. I got a ring light. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. Just turn it down. Maybe that'll help. No. Well, that's not fun. Technical difficulties. That's kind of good. There we go. So, if that's his handwriting, I wish I could have handwriting like that now. So, and he's almost 100 years old. So, he wrote me a whole note, and I enjoyed reading it from him. I won't read it aloud since the private letter there, but if you wanted to pause it, I guess you could read it. But Scott made this paper up. There's the class that they got to do with him, and there's some pictures of him as well, back when he was serving, and then somewhat recently. Thought I'd read. We can read about him here. We got Mr. Leland Chandler was born on January 3rd, 1923, in Table Grove, Illinois. He grew up in a rural area, working the family farm and attending the local schools, swimming at the local river, and playing ball when he was able. Leland grew up in the tough times of the 1930s, but he remembers the people in the community helping one another. They were all the same boat after all. Leland opted to join the military when he saw a friend of his wearing an army greatcoat. He did get that uniform and the coat, but he soon shipped to California and then the Philippines when winter uniform was not needed. He arrived in April 1941 and was at the end of that year, December 7th, 1941, that the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, plunging the U.S. into the war. Leland was stationed at Corregidor. Where? That one somewhere there. When that happened, he and his fellow American and Filipino soldiers managed to hold off the Japanese for a few months, but they were outnumbered and ultimately forced to surrender, at which time Leland became a prisoner of the Japanese. He was held in the Philippines at first and was later put on one of the infamous Hell ships and sent to Formosa and ultimately onto Osaka, where he became a forced labor at the Yodogawa Steelworks. The treatment was brutal, and Leland was reduced to a number negative 385. He struggled to survive there for the next 3.5 years. Leland made it, but most of his fellow prisoners did not. Liberation finally came, and Leland returned to the U.S. via Hawaii. 6 months of recovery in the hospital would follow, and the readjustment and nightmares continued after that. Leland married and started his family with his wife, Ruth. He became a firefighter and served his community, even managing to find forgiveness in his heart as he fell into the rhythms of post-war American life. Leland Chandler was interviewed via Zoom in April 2022 by Mr. Masters, grade 12 history class. Again, there's his signature as a picture, so wow. Talk about going through all that and, you know, making it to the age he's at now. It's just incredible. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Unbroken, and then they also made a sequel to that, Unbroken: The Road to Redemption. I mean, the stuff that that gentleman in that movie went through, you gotta imagine is, you know, fresh in the mind of Mr. Chandler. So definitely my heart and prayers go out to him and others that have gone through that experience. But thank you so much for your service, Chandler, Mr. Chandler, and definitely I hope that guys kind of reveals a little bit, you know, what these guys went through and why we have these freedoms that we have. Because, you know, if we would have lost, what would life be like today? So, you know, this autograph collecting hobby is fun and all, but you know, those guys are the real heroes. So really appreciate Scott sending that to me and being able to get Mr. Chandler's autograph. I've gotten him a couple times on several different items, but it's always great to hear from him. And finally, I know this has been a long video, but hey, you know, it's been a long time since we've had a video that was, you know, probably over 10 minutes for TTM, so that's great. I picked up a Josh Hamilton autograph for the collection. I didn't have this one yet. This one's from 2001, SP Top prospects chirography, chirography. I don't know how you say it. So I don't know if it's numbered or not. I got it for $7. After shipping and taxes, about 12. So I guess it might be numbered. I'm not sure. Nope, not numbered. But hey, I know recently hasn't been the best of light, but I was a big fan of his when he was playing. I mean, it was always exciting when you'd watch the Rangers, around 2010, 2011, 2012. Whenever he was up the bat, you definitely stopped and watched to see what he would do. So, yeah, so that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you did too, and hopefully you had some mail. I don't think there's mail Monday because of Labor Day, but maybe Tuesday and Wednesday we'll get a whole bunch in. So I hope you guys have a great day, and talk to you later. Bye.